Hello future mod developers for Unveil. Today I will be showing you the basics of creating a package in Unveil, which is what contains all the stuff that you actually want to bring into the game. You will find an extensive amount of documentation, and this is an old view of it by the time you're watching this video, that you can find in unveil.gamepedia.com/package. Although of course you will find links in the description below. Everything is documented, so you're gonna find everything you need right here. So what you need to create your own package is to go ahead and take the template.package that either comes with the game, or you can download whole new from the website unveilgame.com. So what you do is you just go ahead and duplicate this, and I am doing this on macOS, but you should be doing this I guess on Windows, which is the platform on which the game works on actually. And we're gonna change the name to say, in example, your name underscore the name of the package. So in my case it would be particle underscore my underscore awesome underscore mod, right? The reason why you want to use your name first is so that no two people can create the same mod called the same, otherwise they will override each other. Only one could actually exist. So that way we prevent any kind of collision to ever happening. All right, so once we open this up, what we're gonna find is that we have an audio and graphics folder, an items folder, a scenario folder, scripts folder, sim units folder, vocab folder, and we also get a package.json and a scenario.json. Now, there will be separate videos to explain how to use assets, how to use items, how to use scenarios, how to use scripts, how to use sim units, and how to use vocab. Will probably be in the same video, these two. But for the time being, I want to give you a quick look on what you can expect in a package. You pretty much can deliver one scenario and multiple of everything else. All right. So first off, we have the audio and graphics folder. As you can see, they are empty, but this is where you would bring in your own custom assets in case you need them for your scenario, or you can overwrite existing assets on the game, like existing music, sound effects, and graphics. And you pretty much need to recreate the folder structure to do that, and there will be a separate video for that, but you can already find it in the documentation here when you go to package assets, and it will explain you how to do that, as well as give you the names of the files in case you want to override them. All right, back to this. We now also have an items folder on which you can bring in your own items. As you can see, there is an example item right here, which is my custom item, and you can see this also follows some kind of like similar format to the package, and that is because these are code names, and every time you see the word code name, it means it must be written in this way, that is letters, underscore, and numbers only, as long as it doesn't start with a number. So this is an invalid code name and it will be ignored. So that said, whenever you open it up, you're gonna find an icon PNG file, as well as the item.json, which will contain information about the item. There will be a separate video about that, but you can just create more items like this, right? And you can call this my other custom item. You get the idea, and this is the codename you're gonna be using in the game to invoke your item. You can also define the recipes inside of these. Then we have scenario. This is one of the most complicated ones. In fact, I think we should just open up this folder, and this comes with its own RPG Maker project, as you can see right here. Now, you require RPG Maker VXAs only if you want to make your own scenario. Otherwise, you can mod the entire game without it. All right, but for making the custom maps, you need this. This project will come with its own graphics. As you can see, you can find the tile sets, many tile sets that are actually not used, but these are some, like you can see most of these graphics are not used, and they're bound to change at any time soon. However, they come with these not because the game is going to load any of this, actually won't at all, but it is for you to see the tile sets and the graphics within the editor. That is why this is come with it. actually all information in this folder will be ignored except for the maps found in the data folder, but this will be generated automatically by RPG Maker, and the maps folder, which contains settings specific for every map, so you can define what kind of items spawn in that area, or what kind of temperature there is on that area, and so on. So you can make more advanced settings, and there will be a separate video explaining how to do all this. Of course, you can just delete this if you're not going to be using that. As well, there is a scenario.json that will help you configure this scenario. Then of course there is a scripts folder that comes with its own main.rb. This basically means that you're gonna be able to inject any kind of code into the game. This is loaded after the game is loaded, so you can override or extend existing methods. I recommend you extend them in case you do. This is a little bit more advanced, and there is not that much documentation going on about this, but it is already there. Only main.rv will be loaded, so in case you want to add more files, you can use just require, sorry about that, you can use require my other file, and you know, in case you have my other file here, like my other file, right, then that will be included. And this is the better way to do it in case you have dependencies like class definitions and so on. All right, and then of course you have simulation units, and here's an example one as well. And simulation units are a tad more complex, and these are actually, in example, a campfire or an open coconut laying on the ground. These are stuff that are actively being executed by the simulation and are gonna have this method simulation tick called 60 times in an hour, that is once per minute, so they can process and do different kind of things, right? And these are going to be bound to an existing game event, all right? So they will have a representation in the world, but whenever the player goes into a different map, that game event is terminated, but the simulation unit will still be processing on the background. So that is one of the main advantages. You can have very complex and advanced simulation code written in it, but also it's persistent and it can run even if the game, even if the active map is not the one on which the event actually is placed on, which is a limitation of RPG Maker, or just on purpose, so it's easier to handle anyways. And lastly, we have the vocab folder. Right now only the n.rb one will be loaded, but this is where you will be defining your own custom text like hello and hello, right? Or you can set maybe cat equal cat. If that is a specific kind of version of cat that you want to make sure it's only for you, you can use your own module, so you can define that instead of the main one, so other people don't override it. And of course, then eventually with time, if we support multi-language, you can just go ahead and say, I don't know, instead of writing like cat in English, somebody else can write gato in Spanish, or they can go ahead and write neko in Japanese, and there we go. I think there we go. So there can be the possibility of multi-language support, and this is sort of getting ready for it, but we currently do not support it, and so bear that in mind. That is pretty much it. However, there is one more thing in here that you may have seen that I skipped, and that is package.json. Now this is for the most part useless, especially this and this, which was sort of to get it ready to be used on Steam Steam Workshop. But since I couldn't make Workshop work with an RPG Maker project because it's Ruby, because it's not C, because they don't support it directly, I talked to other two people that know a lot about this, and they still did not know what was going on. For the time being, we won't have Steam Workshop support. I strongly recommend you put your mods on GitHub so other people can contribute to it in case you want that happening. It will be open source anyway, so might as well put it in the right place, right? And if you do want people to contribute it because it's not a story-based scenario, but maybe it's just features or stuff like that, then it makes what better sense than just have it on GitHub. github.com, that is. And make sure you publish your mods on the discussion section on Unveil on Steam. Now, this isn't an important setting. This is one of the most important settings. This defines the type of package you are going to be executing, right? There can be two kinds for now, at least at the time of making this video, but eventually there will be three, either global or sandbox. Sandbox, oh my god, sandbox like this. So if it's sandbox, it means that all audio and graphics and items and even the scripts at some extent and the simulation units and the vocab will be only loaded for your scenario. All right. In the case of these first three, will only be accessed while your scenario is the active one, right? So you can create custom assets and items that don't interfere with the rest of the game. And I strongly recommend that if you're delivering a scenario, you only use the sandbox type. All right. However, scripts, sim units, and vocab will be loaded once your scenario is run, but then it won't be unloaded because of the way it works, right? So you still need to check, like on scripts and so on, that you are actually the active scenario, and there's a way to check that. If you check the documentation on package scripts, how to check if you are the active scenario, so you don't screw it up, like you see right here, right? Anyways, that said, you shouldn't encounter that many issues with it. This is a more advanced feature anyway, so bear that in mind. But if you are not making a sandbox package because you're not maybe making a scenario, but you just want to extend the functionality of the game, you can go global, right? And that way you are going to ensure that all of your audio, graphics, and items and everything are applied to the base game and every single mod out there. All right, so make sure that whatever you are doing does not interfere with other people's work, right? And it's not adding a lot of crap that people may not need. Much better it is to create many packages, right? So people can pick exactly what they want to put into their game, as opposed to one huge package with 100 items that flood the game. All right, that's just gonna make crafting way more complicated. Anyways, that is pretty much it. To learn more, make sure you check the new videos that are going to be coming on this channel explaining how to make your own custom scenario. This is the most important one, this is the most complicated one, and the one not really complicated, but the one that most people are going to screw up because they think they know what they're doing by modifying an RPG Maker project, but in reality you're not modifying the Unveil project. This is a separate project that won't be imported. So that is what you need to bear in mind. That video will be really important for you to watch if you want to make custom scenarios for Unveil. But for everything else, you can find the documentation in unveil.gamepedia.com/package, and you can just click one of these links and it will explain you more about everything. It will give you examples, it will go on every single thing, explain what you need to set, examples. The documentation is super clear and very easy to read, at least in my own opinion, but of course you will let me know about that whenever you actually get your hands on it. So that is all for this introductory video. Thank you for participating in the mod making community of Unveil, and I would love to know what you guys make, so make sure you post them. If you have any issues, unexpected behaviors, make sure you let me know in the group discussions on Unveil's Steam section, so I can assist you. Maybe there is a problem with the modding system, maybe there's just an error that is not as obvious for you to debug, so I can come in and help you. All right, that is definitely all for sure now. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next tutorial video.